Hi, nice evening. And that seems very nice of my mom, Jay. I hope you can give a nice hi back to her, because that would seem appropriate. And I did not have any time today to look at anything, so I would love to have a jump in and look at the region pack, to be honest. I did a little bit things off stream, but not very much this time. Also, gladly tell me on the music volume if that is fine. The song seems quite loud today. But yeah, we made a very little progress in this area. We're actually circling in on the very end of the build. And welcome in, Andy. Hope you're having a nice, well, not evening for you, but day, I guess. But yeah, we went in and we tried a bit more around with the abandoned style we're aiming for here. And I really wanna manage to get a vibe in where we have abandoned stuff right next to unabandoned stuff. So yeah, this is quite a start for that. We do have to really dive into this a bit more, but that's pretty much what we did here off stream. And then I spent quite a long time, and all of this is horrible still, but to pre-sort
some Latinos up here.
the layout and the roads in this area a bit better, and welcome in, Elgando. And yeah, I see, afternoon. I could have looked at the clock as well. I mean, with you NA people, I know it's somewhere between 6 or 8 hours time difference, so should have figured. But yeah, we dived into this area and I started to get the layout a bit more in check, because eventually after we're done with the mine, I would like to build a truck stop here, which we have a very early foundation of, not really, but to be in a bit better shape to build a truck stop, we need to figure the layout a bit better, and I did dive in here and started detailing out this cute lot and Dunder Mifflin, which I'm sure Office fans will be happy about, but we have a nice Dunder Mifflin here. And then this is something for Target, or for Dava mainly. I don't know why, but whenever I'm in Dava's chat, people bully him to build a Target, and he refuses to do so, so I took the job and built a nice Target down here. But yeah, that's pretty much what we did off stream, and otherwise I'm looking forward to diving into this. I tried a lot around with buildings here as well, right? Because one thing I do realize is that most of the industry in the game is a bit too small for me, so we're gonna heavily rely on static probables with a lot like this, for example, and more of different buildings to get a nice look in here. There is a lot of things to still be tried around with, but this, for example, is a morph I'm quite happy with. This is a French electrical substation, I believe. But if you lower it deep into the ground, it fits pretty well next to this. To obviously here in the terrain doesn't work that well, but get a nice union, and that's pretty much what we're gonna do a lot in this area. One thing where I actually did a bit of progress for a future build is this, and I'm curious if this is a German thing or a more general thing, but it feels like even in the holidays, no matter where I go, there is a luxury car dealer, and all of those luxury car dealers are always very typical and the same, and they have a weird glass building out in the front where there is loads of overly expensive supercars displayed in there. We don't have overly expensive supercars in the game, I guess, but we can try to get a nice selection of somewhat elegant cars in there. And I'm not too sure if the morph around this is correct. This glass container is what I'd like to use for that. And all of the rest, again, this is a building that is way bigger and just lowered into the ground. I just like it because of this upper walkway here. But I will have to try around with that a bit, because all of this is quite a bit of a weird morph, and I do think I'm not sure if it's gotten a tad too big, because it's right at the start of our city, so I would like to have it somewhat rural, and I'm not sure how much I nailed it with this. Otherwise, I think this is a beautiful morph of buildings and really hits the vibe well of those luxury car dealers. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure how we're gonna tackle that in future. And otherwise, I'm curious what you guys think about the new region pack that I'm sure some of you, at least Jay, I know has had a look at it already. I have seen only the images and stuff from the dev diary. I have seen nothing else, so I'm actually somewhat excited to have a dive into this. We're gonna try not to be super slow, and we're mainly looking for things that we actually consider for Los Vagos. So I'm sure for some people that've seen stuff already, this is not gonna be super exciting. For me, this is the first look at everything. So we're gonna have a quick blast through this. What I've seen from the picture so far looks amazing. A lot of it is not gonna entirely be our style, but there is so much normal red brick in that pack that we can't go too wrong. I'm sure we'll find a few of those. I mean, welcome in, Shilka. Nice to see you here, and that seems appropriate. I mean, even in Germany, I think these kind of row houses are very typical. Like, at least in the neighborhood where I grown up in Germany, there is a lot of these exact same ones as well. And I mean, I guess you can detail your own house nicely now. One thing I'm curious, the name is so small written here that it's difficult to see if how different the levels are, what the difference is. One thing I can already tell from the images that Jay posted is that these tiny huts that I guess we see in their backyard here, I love them. We'll use those all the time. They seem like amazing small both backyard as well as industrial buildings. So I'm sure we'll use those a lot. These buildings itself, beautiful. I think they're great assets. They're not the kind of assets we need for Los Vagos, but regardless, maybe one day we build a non-US city, and then these are nice assets. And I guess just so we understand, this is a level 3, this is a level 2, what changes on the level is just that weird open roof window. I don't know how to call that properly in English, but yeah, I guess that's the difference in the levels. And then in the level 5 it gets another window to the front. Okay, I see. Yeah, generally I do like this list, but you're right, because the thumbnails are missing anyway. Maybe we'll switch. For now we're just gonna suffer. And welcome in, Gaga, nice to see you. One thing I'm super curious, I'm gonna plop 2 of these down, because I asked it before, and I think Gaga gave me half an answer, but not really. How is recoloring of these looking? Okay, that is 10 out of 10. We can recolor the bricks entirely. We can recolor the roof entirely. I love it. And I guess this is doors. Okay, one of the doors. And is that the case for all of them? That seems to be the case for all of them. That is amazing. Honestly, amazing. 10 out of 10. That makes any pack a lot better than it would otherwise be, because we can make things work in different environments a lot better than where they were actually intended for. Yeah, I mean, the pack, I did not have time to add the pack today or have a look at it yet, but the screenshots he posted look great, so no complaints. And honestly, these buildings, again, not the right fit for ours, but what I was initially thinking, and I feel like that as well the more I look at these will go super well together with the UK pack. Like the UK pack and the Netherlands pack, they will go together incredibly well. I mean, makes sense. Dutch architecture and British architecture are not the same, but at least have quite a bit of overlap. So, yeah, not bad. And actually, I like that height, right? Yeah, you're right. Most of the other assets have nice and carefully crafted. Well, actually, you're not right, James. Because look, they have the mailbox in the door. I'm not sure how to call that in British. Türschlitz, where you just press the letters through the door, so people have it inside of their flat in the morning when they wake up. So indeed, mailboxes, just not typical ones. Yeah, actually, nice variation because we don't have that many. I think, especially in the normal, like low to medium res buildings, we have quite little variation in more modern brick buildings. Many of them are very specific in style or pretty old school, and these are actually somewhat modern brick buildings, so interesting. I'm gonna have to be honest, I don't like the higher level ones much. I guess you do see this in this kind of buildings every once in a while as well in Germany, if there is somebody who decides to live in his house for a longer time and build it out and, I don't know, go crazy on the house and build out the rooftop. But then you won't see this in 2 units right next to each other as commonly as here. And visually, I do think it makes them quite a bit uglier. So if we ever use them, I'm fairly sure we're gonna use a level 1 and 2 ones mainly. Because the level 3 and 4 ones, I really think they just make the houses uglier. Maybe that's just me, but look at this. This is the level 3. I don't like it. The level 2 of the same building, beautiful, stunning. I would love to use this. Level 3, not my cup of tea anymore. I don't think, I mean, I'm looking forward for them to fix mail. It's quite hilarious, because, I mean, you know it, but everybody who checks my Discord a bit more frequently have seen that I had a bit of a meltdown over the buggy state of mail lately, and I was very uncertain if it's like me being bad at the game or mail actually being confusing, but turns out, luckily, mail is actually quite bugged and it's not just me being bad at the game. Surely part of it. This I very much like, I have to be honest. This is a super cute detail, even though it's generally the same building. Just this one is very cute. Very, very cute. What stamp? What stamp did I forget to put? Welcome in, Sunny. Nice to see you. Did you have a look already at the entire pack and can tell me which your favorites are? Well, I'm not surprised about that at all. Honestly, this is super cute details though, like, cause I do think this is very realistic. Not that people build out the rooftop as much, but that people build something onto the back of the house and they're slightly different and a bit less uniform, I think is very, very fitting. And welcome in Urban. I mean, I will send you a postcard one day, Sunny. You just have to believe maybe you have to dox yourself first and give me your address, preferably not in DMs but in chat, so everybody can send you nice mail in future. See, this for example makes me sad, because I'm not sure how that would actually work. Can region pack creators from newer region packs use assets from other region packs? I guess they can, because you can't guarantee that people are subscribed to them. Because this asset would look 100 times better if this would be the UK hatch instead of the vanilla hatch. The vanilla hatch is just such a disaster. It ruins everything where the vanilla hatch comes in touch with. So horrible. But yeah, I guess they can't use a UK hatch, because then maybe some people don't have the UK pack enabled but wanna use a Dutch pack, so that's not the thing. Yeah, mate, no worries. Thanks for tuning in, and hope you get well soon and have a nice night and sweet dreams. And I have exciting news. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say, but Urban is planning to get a new computer, and I helped him a little in looking over the parts. So if Urban gets a proper computer, maybe we have another person joining the Cities community in the future. But yeah, I guess these are all just similar variations. And see this again. The building itself beautiful. The rooftop built out that heavily I don't like. Maybe that's more common in the UK. I'd actually be thankful or interested in opinion of Shilka if he's still here. What do you think, Shilka? Is that as common in the Netherlands to build out your rooftop as extremely? Because this seems absurd to me to have this twice in the same asset. You mean have a look at this in terrain? I don't want to break my cute mountains. I suck at terraforming. I'll never get them back as pretty as they were before. We're gonna have to do it somewhere where we wanna break it anyway. This we don't want to keep this, so we can do it here. Honestly, just as any building in cities, I don't think how this behaves any different. Is there a reason for you saying I should test it in terrain or not? And welcome in, Aunt Bessie. I was gonna say Aunt Bessie, but then I just can't read. Welcome in. Hope we're having a nice Monday evening. We're just having a look. Maybe some people already seen this. I have not seen any of this besides the ones we looked at already, but we're having a quick look at the new region pack we've gotten today. I mean, generally I have to say, for example, the detailing in the yards itself is beautiful. Like, if you build a Dutch city, then I think this is pretty straightforward. You plop it down, you remove the vanilla hatch, you replace it with a UK hatch, and then you have a very nice asset. And again, can't really blame the content creators for the awful hedges we have in-game. So, nobody's fault. And I was so curious yesterday. Sunny kept teasing me yesterday. A lot of the time yesterday, Sunny kept telling me I will be incredibly excited tomorrow. And I kept being like, why am I gonna be so excited? Because there is not that many things that I communicate often that I would really like in a game. So immediately I asked him if I'm gonna get a cactus in the game, which sadly was not a surprise. But the second best thing that we could have gotten, I guess, and it's bollards, which I've not looked at yet. I have to decide if I even prefer the new bollards over the custom bollards we already have. But I mean, any Ballord variation is welcome variation. But yeah, I'm gonna stick to it. I think all of the variations on top of the level 2 or 3 is horrible. Like this pack, I don't think this is gonna be a good pack to play Zone 2 is. Because the assets are beautiful, and I think if you have pretty much only level 2s and 3s, or level 2s and 1s, then yes, it's totally fine to have one of those raised rooftops every once in a while. But if I imagine only having these level 5s, that looks horrible. An entire block of these would build up once, and then yeah, obviously if you're zoning, eventually all of your buildings are gonna turn into level 5. So, beautiful assets, but the higher levels of them I'm not a fan of. This is really cute though, I love those outdoor terraces. That is very, very nice. No, see, I'm gonna. This is really much unrelated to the rest of our build. So the build and the city we're actually building, holy goddamn frame. Sorry, we did not look at this, so it wasn't in our VRAM anymore. But this is what we're generally been building on lately, which is like a mine and an abandoned mine next to it, and then this is our entire very crazy, very detailed, a bit chaotic US redneck city with a twist of corruption and dictatorship in it, and yeah, again, heavily redneck expired. We have a lot of crazy people living in our city. And for this entire game, we just gotten a new region pack today, which is themed Dutch, and we're just looking at the assets. Probably we're not gonna use very many of these, because as much as I think this, for example, is a beautiful asset, I don't see this in our city, so I doubt we are ever gonna use this in Los Vagos. But then I've seen some of the screenshots of the service buildings that were in that death diary. That's the only thing I've seen so far, and some of them look great. Like really, holy, this is one ugly building. Is this a thing in the Netherlands where they keep having the roof tiles go down over the entire first level of the house? That looks absolutely horrible. Horrendous building. I've not seen the service buildings yet. I like that you say that. Like, that is very interesting, because yeah, that's probably the only ones we're really interested in for our build here for Los Vagos. But, I mean, I'm not gonna get too political here, but I don't disagree with you, Bessie. Kinda. I do think our city is a lot cuter than that, but is a bit of a crazy place. Let's say it that way. I still don't get it. What do you mean with the UK substation? What is a substation in this context? Maybe it's my lack of proper English. But when I think of substation, I think of a power substation. So you keep confusing me. I've not tried anything of the interesting service buildings yet. We're making our way. I'm gonna try to speed up a bit, because again, these seem very similar. And goddamn, I still can't get over how ugly this is. It's a great asset, don't get me wrong, not the asset creator's fault that there is as ugly buildings as this in real life. But what an absolute disaster, just having the roof tiles stop here instead of going over the first floor would make this twice as beautiful. Oh, okay. Yeah, then now I follow. Yeah, that's curious that I'm not the only one. Because again, I do think probably they are a thing, and then it makes sense to also represent them, even if they're ugly, to represent the region properly. But holy shit, they hurt to look at. Or even in these, there is some variations. Okay. Yeah, we're never gonna use that. Oh god, there is a lot of these. Okay, I'm gonna try to speed up a bit so we get more to the interesting part of service buildings. Because yes, I want to see the service buildings and I want to see the modular cemetery and all of that. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Again, many of these are really interesting. They were just not Los Vagos, so really the residential ones, I think we're probably not gonna use many of these. Mansard roof. Curious. I mean, I'm not gonna say that we did not commit very horrible architectural crimes in Germany during that same period, but then I've never at least noticed the bricks going down as far, so very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess that actually does make sense. Okay, and I guess we beat the low-res ones, and these I have not seen anything of. This is like 10 out of 10, this fits right. Sunny, you must be happy about those, no? This is straight up council block. Like combine these with some of the UK assets, a perfect council housing block. Really, I think to me, these outside walkaways, we have them in Germany as well, but they're pretty uncommon and they generally from a very specific architecture time period, generally I think shortly after the war. But they are not very common here anymore. If you go into the UK, these are everywhere, like especially in London in council housing. It feels like nearly all of these houses have those outside walkaways, so I'm sure you must be happy for those. And welcome in, Metzger. Nice to see you here. Yeah, these look amazing, really. And I agree, the French low-res is a beautiful pack. Okay, also interesting, very big. Clearly too big for Los Vagos. But then something like this, we can totally pull off style-wise in the right neighborhood. Yeah, I also don't like it when they are selected, but I'm too lazy to place down every single one. We're gonna spend a lot of time scrolling over those in future again anyways, to make sure we did not miss anything. I just wanna have a quick first impression. Yeah, again, with all of these higher buildings that get higher and higher, just due to the scale of Los Vagos, everything outside of the level 1 and 2s is not gonna be an option for us, because it's too big. I don't fully follow you there, Vev. Or V, I should say. On the builder cells, what do you mean? On the builder cells? I don't get the start of the sentence, the rest of it I do. Yeah, I was thinking I'm filtering for level 4, but then the truth is sometimes, depending on the building type, the level 5s are very interesting. So I'm just gonna skip quite hastily in areas where I think they are not as interesting for us, but I do still wanna see the level 5s. Even if it's not for our current build, interesting to know. Also, I love this. This is very cute. Again, yeet out the ugly vanilla hatch and replace it with a UK one. But then else, this is super cute with a bike rack here and then this small seating area there. Very realistic. I dig it if there is good pre-made details in stuff. I don't use it very much, but I know other people use it a lot, and for that is good. I hate this. Is this level 5? Yeah, I hate the level 5. I don't like the modern extensions on these. Not untypical to see this, but in real life I hate it just as much. So not a fan. Really, I think all of the level 2s and level 1s, which again is the same mesh for most of them, but look great. But in the higher levels, not my cup of tea. But yeah, otherwise great looking, all of these. And I guess these are all low rent. I wouldn't even have noticed that because the typo is so small if you would have not pointed that out. And now with these we're talking, because these 10 out of 10, this fits in any US build as well. These are so generic, like these are just generic classic brick buildings. This goes into any US build flawlessly. So these are very interesting for us. Also nice total ease and density. So these I love. Honestly, first asset where I'm like, we're probably gonna use this. What in God's... Yeah, one of those buildings, again, beautiful asset, horrible building. God, is this one ugly looking disaster building. But not bad. I guess it does fit. But I can't be the only one. Am I the only one finding this really ugly? This is beautiful. Maybe not perfect to fit into a US build. But then honestly, for a harbor, like traditional harbor site, even in a US city, I think you can pull it off. And I really like those transport hooks. Which probably the reason I like this is that in the city where I'm from, Hamburg in Germany, there is a very big traditional storage area with also, well, I would say not also brick buildings, because the brick buildings there are a lot more beautiful than these are. But there is also a lot of these transport hooks at the top, so this feels very homey and familiar to me. Though I'd say the version of this in Hamburg is more beautiful than this for sure. Okay, these small ones are the only ones that really so far jump out to me. Let's scroll till we reach the next level ones. Yeah, cute asset, we won't use it. Same for this. This again, I quite like. This fits in a US build. And again, when I say we won't use it, it's not because I think the asset is bad or the building is bad or anything like that. It's purely that I think it does not fit our build architecture-wise. So clearly we're a US build, so looking at the Dutch pack, we're gonna have a lot of buildings that just don't fit us. But still interesting to have a look, and I've seen a few that also do fit us that we can't totally get away with. I'm gonna have a quick look at the level 5 just out of curiosity. They just get taller, okay. And next level 1s. Some of these I think also work great in the UK, but yeah, some of these are a bit too specific and don't work great in the UK or for our build, I would say. And I'm getting impatient. I wanna see the service buildings, because yes, we're still seeing some new ones, but generally we're just seeing different sizes of the same mesh right now. So we're gonna scroll over here to the next level 1, switch here. Curious. This really, one to one could be from northern Germany as well. because in some parts I think Northern German and Dutch architecture are pretty similar, but then in other parts it's also very different to each other. But this building, for example, would go right into Northern Germany as well. This is all different levels already. I'm gonna do the same and scroll over till the next level ones, which is here, 2 of them. This is just a different size. We've seen this mesh before. Okay, so we don't care. We're gonna keep scrolling till the next level ones. Okay, super interesting, curious. Because this is the one building where I think it fits pretty nice into, honestly, both UK as well as US builds. And it's a pretty corner building. Really nice. Like, this is a 10 out of 10 asset. And I'm sure we will use it. Probably not in the part of Los Vagos we've been building so far. Probably not in Ignore these ugly skyscrapers. But yeah, probably we won't use them here. But I'm fairly sure if we finally make progress and start diving into this city in the future, that we are gonna make use of those corner buildings as well. These are beautiful, really. Big fan. More corner buildings, curious. Again, this not for our build, otherwise great asset as well. But yeah, nice to see that they put attention into making nice corner buildings as well. I guess we'll see the corner buildings to the other side as well. This is the inverted ones. Oh, I don't like the chimney in this. Curious asset otherwise though. Has a lot of character at least. Okay, that's the other corner, and straight up to the next number ones, which is just more corner buildings. I'm gonna keep rushing through these. This is a single one. Next corner building, yeah, we're just seeing the corner variations of the buildings we already seen. But then this one, really cool. Also, actually super nice backyard detailing. I think, honestly, even with high standards on detailing, if you're in a grass biome, then there is not too much to have to be done in this. Mainly comes down if you can accept this having the vanilla hedge or if you want to replace it. But decent details in the buildings from the get-go, which always appreciated. Yeah, honestly, same thing here. The backyards of these are really cute. I love that every single of those houses has their own small private terrace, super realistic. That's something you would see exactly like that in real life as well, so lovely, honestly. These hooks are for transporting goods.
Get the rocks.
They are to transport goods. Like, obviously, I guess either they have been used as storage buildings in the past, or even if you just wanna move, I don't know, a new sofa or a laundry machine or anything up into your new flat, and you have something that you can't fit through the staircase because it's quite pressed, then you need to put it in. I also was wondering, I have not looked at anything beside what we're looking at now, so I don't know how the prop situation looks. I'm sure Jay can elaborate though, because I know that Jay already had a look at the buildings. Or not at the buildings, but at the props of the pack. So I'm sure Jay can tell you. Okay, yeah, these we all seen, it's just bigger variants, and then here is something new, and I guess these are the row houses. To which I'm gonna have to say, for most US builds, kinda solid, depending on where in the US you're from. Not the kind of vibe we're aiming for. Maybe a few of them. Like, they are a nice addition to all of the row houses we already have to add a bit of variation, so absolutely no compliance. These are beautiful, really. If you want to build a Dutch build, then these row houses will do a lot of heavy lifting. This one really beautiful asset. Okay, that's good info. We're gonna check after we're done with the buildings. We're gonna have a look at the props as well and at the service buildings. Curious. Very, very Dutch, really. And also somewhat British. Those very slim old townhouses. So, yeah, lovely again. What I do find quite interesting is that the hook actually seems to be included in pretty much all of them. And Sunny, again, is probably the right person to answer this. But to me, that makes them a bit more region-specific. Because without the hook, I would totally buy this in London as well. Just put a giant skyscraper next to it, and it's still a leftover old building where you have a pub in it or something. But I don't think you ever see those transport or cargo hubs in British architecture. Now that's the question to Sunny, if I'm wrong or right with that. Because if I'm right with that, then that makes this pack a lot less versatile than it would otherwise be. This one is stunning as well. Sadly, I don't like the roof in this so much. The bottom of the building, absolutely stunning and beautiful. The roof of it is a bit of a bummer. I guess, yeah, ceilings are too high for UK as well. Well, sadly, no cactuses. Again, Sunny got me very excited when telling me there is something I'll be very excited about tomorrow. And for a moment, I had hope in a cactus, but yeah, sadly, no cactus for us yet. But Sunny, you have NDA, you have a direct connection to Colossal Order. Whenever they ask you about what you think the game really needs to be good and successful right now, I hope your only and single answer to that question will always be cactus. Because as a viewer of this channel, I do think that's your duty to bring us a cactus. You have the power, Sunny. Yeah, this one again, beautiful. I'm curious if this would be 10 out of 10. Is this a sub-element? Sad it isn't. Because I like the hook. I think the hook is a really cute detail. I don't like that the hook is everywhere. It would be super cool if the hook could be its own sub-element, because then you have the choice between the hook and not the hook. Wow, Sunny with a monthly unfollow and refollow just to hurt my feelings and bully me. But thank you for following again, I guess. Very, very cute of you. Yeah, beautiful as well. We will probably never use this, but stunning asset. How do you guys feel about the hook? Am I the only one that finds it sad that the hook is included in all of them? Because yeah, if I'd build a Dutch city, I wouldn't like that. Like, even if we just look at these few we plop down here, I think it looks a bit clowny, that it's like in every single one of them. So, a bit uncertain. But we're making progress, we're nearly done. At the front of this 10 out of 10 US building, especially like New York, Lower East Side. But then you see the roof and it's not a Lower East Side New York building at all anymore. But just the front of the building, if we look from this angle, 10 out of 10 Lower East Side. But yeah, as soon as you raise the camera, it's not anymore. Oh, well, okay, that's fair. How come? Because your computer struggles with the game, I assume. My computer also is struggling with the game, so you're not the only one. Yeah, honestly, sad. I mean, obviously it's a Dutch pack, so the roof should be like this. But from our perspective of wanting to use these in Los Vagos, the roofs hurt a little. Just because the roofs alone by themselves make them pretty much unfitting for Los Vagos. I guess. Why are these so many variations of the same house with the same mesh? I guess it's just different depths of the same ones. Will we still see something new or not? Here is new level ones. Okay, this one actually is new. Also stunning asset, really. I think my favorite category of this entire pack is the low rent and the row houses. From the residentials, we've not seen anything beside residentials yet. But from the residentials, that's definitely the most interesting ones. I guess so, yeah. Though you do see like all of them have very clearly visual roof tile, so not too sure if you can properly get away with recoloring them in non-red. But even just being able to adjust the shades of red already is big news to me. Okay, more level 1s. These actually, I find the top windows really cute. And for once, the hooks are not identical. Because really, many of them I just don't like, because the hook is exactly the same one. But yeah, there is some variance in there at least. And with that, I assume... Oh, no, these are actually still new. We've not seen them, and they are stunning. Absolutely stunning. Really, even for some German cities, like for the few Germans in chat, for example, if you look at something like Lüneburg, this goes right into Lüneburg center or something. So even for German cities, like this pack does really offer something. And I'm gonna try, in that last building as well, we're gonna try to answer your question, Sunny, and try to recolor it a bit wood-like, if that's possible to pull off. I guess this is probably just different depths. Nope, entirely new building. What is going on? What is this? Is that a thing? Architecture nerds, help, uneducated, silly booty addict. Is this accurate? What is this for and why do we do this? I guess to hold the different floors, to have the ceiling hold up. And I guess you just put it through the entire wall. But looking at it, that's at least what I would figure this is for. I mean, I did not know that. I have not time to look at anything, but you can see the scroll bar. Like, I'm not sure how many other categories they are. But we nearly made it. But yeah, seems like a big pack. How was the size of... I did not pay attention when I downloaded this. How was the size of this pack compared to the others? how many gigabytes does this bring us? Are really curious. Corner building that is very deep but thin. This is gonna be a great space filler in some areas. Only, that's so small. Surprisingly small for the area. Yeah, and I guess Lübeck, you're totally right, Metzger. In general, if I would ever build a German city, if somebody is interested in a German city and wants nice inspiration, Lübeck is probably one of the most accomplishable German cities, just because the scale of it is not super big, but then it's a very interesting city with a lot of character and vibes. So if somebody is looking for a German city to build, really Lübeck is a great shout for that. Okay, then that's pretty much then Dr. Google is agreeing with what my one IQ assumption of what they are for has been. Yeah, actually it does make perfect sense. Does look a bit weird to me, because I don't think I've ever seen that done in Germany. I've also never paid attention to it, so that might totally be off. But I don't think I've ever seen this done on the exterior in Germany. Again, maybe that's just me not paying attention and people in chat will correct me. Good question. Why? I guess the angle is just different because they don't care which way they put them in. But yeah, you have a point. The angle in those seems pretty random. Maybe there is somebody clever and educated in chat who can lecture us about these. Otherwise, it's gonna stay a mystery to us, I guess. This I really like, because this is very common, at least in many German cities as well, to have the window frames, but then no actual fitted window in every single one of them. So to me, this looks incredibly realistic and something that I wish more of the assets would be doing. Not too much. It makes it a bit difficult to use this building many times, because if you use it many times, then it becomes a bit weird that this is the case. But then if it's a nice corner piece that you use once or twice, I think it's very interesting. Really, a window tax. That actually explains a lot to me, Sunny, because as somebody who's in the UK very regularly, but does not know the world about the UK otherwise, I can tell you that I often wonder, because especially in some council housing, they have barely any windows, and the windows are incredibly small. That, yeah, I look at those houses from the outside and they look like a bunker or a jail to me. So that is very curious. And yeah, I guess that makes sense that they do move over time if it's an old house and they wiggle back and forth. Yeah, it is evil design, but then it makes sense. I mean, it's absurd to me. My mom used to be a teacher for a while in Arizona, and in Arizona, which for me as a German person, absolutely batshit bonkers, but her school had no windows, not an entire window on a giant high school for multiple thousand people, cause the heat is so much and cause air condition is so power intensive that windows obviously have a lot worse insulation than a normal wall. So they don't put any windows, because windows would be too expensive if you have the AC in there, which seems horrible to me. You go to school in the morning and then you sit in electric light the entire day till sometime in the afternoon you're finally out and you see sunlight again. Like, crazy to me. Interesting. Dr. Google, the combination out of Dr. Google and Dr. Sunny are very educating today. I like it, honestly. But yes, I think we finally done it. I'm sure we skipped a few. But then I can also tell that, especially these Rome houses, even though I find them absolutely stunning and beautiful, they are not the buildings for us to use in Los Vagos, so we don't have to be super throughout. Next question is, what categories does the pack have? Is there mixed in the... Okay, there is no mix. Is there commercial? No commercial. And I guess no... Okay, no anything. Fair. Then it's time for service buildings, I believe. Yeah, I guess it makes more sense as well if you're from very light parts of the world. Like, to me, Spain has always been a crazy example for that as well, because Germans love going to Spain because, oh my god, amazing weather, you can be out all day. Meanwhile, the normal Spaniard is like a German person in winter. They just don't leave their house during summer unless it's late in the night or early in the morning, but it's just too hot otherwise. But I guess it's also more acceptable if you go outside and it's bright sunlight all the time and hot, then you don't feel as dark and cut off. Meanwhile, in a dark country like the UK or Germany, I would absolutely cry. Oh no, I did not see this. A new parking garage? I love this. This is so cute. 10 out of 10. We are definitely gonna use this. Is this an extension of something? No, it's oh yeah, it is an extension to... it's part of the modular cemetery. We don't care. We're totally gonna use this by ourselves as well. Yeah, I guess for this I actually shouldn't use find it. You have a point. I mean, yes and no, because we are gonna use a lot of the extensions and ploppables by ourselves as well. But yeah, I guess for the first look you have a point, and it's probably better if we just look at the actual service buildings. So let's do this and go through them, and then we're gonna dive in find it afterwards. I love this. This is absolutely stunning. Beautiful asset. Holy shit. Also really versatile, especially if... Heck yeah, recolorable. We are so gonna use this. Also, I think one of the few things I've seen is that Jay posted the props, and I did not look at all of them, but I seen that there is new clocks. Is this one of the clocks we can use? Because if so, that's so cool. That's really like such an easy... Wait, can we not just... Yes! That is absolutely amazing. The snapping of this is questionable, but I guess we can just turn it by ourselves. Am I being silly? No, the snapping of this is actually weird. Well, it doesn't matter. We can obviously rotate this correctly with the EDT. Still, this is really cool. I like the clock. Yeah, that's very, very nice. And I love these windows. They're beautiful. I love them in a lot of the vanilla assets as well. But yeah, in the vanilla assets, these windows are all too clean and too plain. Look at this. Holy shit, that's so nice. Like the grunge and dirt and scratches in the windows, and how the sunlight reflects in this. Really nice. Oh yeah, and you are right, we do have to check the upgrades and everything. What does this change? Just well, not a big upgrade, but still add some variety to the building. Very nice. 10 out of 10. Also really generic in style, I think. This will fit many builds. Is there any water? Oh yeah, there is a water tower actually. That's one of the few assets we've seen already. It's gigantic. I was wondering if I'm right with that. One moment. I want to compare it real quick size-wise. Yeah, because this is the biggest. Honestly,
Hola time.
that just looks like somebody put my mom's Stilo in the game. Like, not ugly, but I've seen prettier water towers, to be quite frank. Let's see if this has an upgrade as well. Which is sad, because I think especially the Netherlands has very pretty, you know, water towers in general. But yeah, this... it has character, let's say it that way, but... yeah, we don't like it because of the way it looks, that's for sure. Is there... oh, there is. Ah, yeah, this is a cemetery, I guess, that everybody's been talking about. I, again, have not really seen anything, but I heard a lot of people be very excited for the cemetery. Same disaster as with everything, but not the asset creator's fault. It has a horrible default vanilla hatch. What is the branding? Oh, this is actually really... will this be on all of the service vans from just this one? Is this on any of the other cemetery vehicles? It isn't, right? Is this from the dome pack? Now I'm actually being insecure. Where is this from? Is this actually made into the pack that they are branded? Or is this from the dome pack and I never paid attention to it? Okay, yeah, but that makes more sense, to be honest. Okay, now I understand why people said it's modular. This actually is modular. The good part of this is we will get all of this as ploppables, right? Because the honest truth is, I'm not that interested in a cemetery. Like, we already have a small cemetery. We don't need that much. But what I'm excited about, here comes the twist. If we take this entire thing, or it's an extension, but yeah, if we take the static ploppables of this, imagine lowering this into the ground. This is a 10 out of 10 statue, isn't it? Like, as a centerpiece of a plaza. Super nice. Yes, it's a bit weird, but then I guess it's just a modern artsy sculpture. I've seen many weird, meaningless statues like that in my life. Lovely, honestly, lovely just for this. Otherwise, I don't find this particularly pretty. Oh, I have to take that back. Honestly, this is really cool. The details in this pack are absurd. Like, one thing they actually really nailed are all of these textures. Like, if you look at the gold here, or even this wall texture, even though it's a bit pixely, I guess, but we also are zooming in far closer than we should be allowed to with extended or free range camera or something like that. So let me catch up in chat real quick. Why do I hate the Netherlands? I don't. I love the Netherlands. It's actually one of the few countries in the world where I could imagine living. So, not correct. Oh, and is this the legendary bespoke bollards? This is the legendary bespoke bollards. Also our first look. I mean, I don't think they're better or worse than any of the bollards we already have, to be honest. But variation, and also access to bollards for people who are not heavily modding their game, so great regardless. The XXX, I think people were talking about that in Discord before, and it makes perfect sense. The XXX is the logo of Amsterdam, isn't it? Or is this from Eindhoven? Where is this region originated in the UK? But I believe, yes, Sunny is agreeing with me. I believe this is the city logo. Yeah, it's actually modular, like impressive. And of course, we can connect the passes. I'm aware. I just wanted to have a pure look at the things by itself. And for me, again, I'm not that interested in the cemetery itself,
Bye,
but
have a
I'm
great time.
interested in the static ploppables it's gonna give us. Yeah, mate, thanks for tuning in, and have a nice night, Sonny, and kisses for the cute doggo, and have sweet dreams. Because, yeah, for example, this, I don't think we will ever use this in the cemetery, that's too big for us. But is this a sick building on its own? This is a really nice building. In fact, we should probably use this for the car dealership that I was talking about earlier. This is a 10 out of 10 building for a car dealership. Obviously, not with all of the stuff around it, but if we take the static ploppable version of this, then really nice. But yeah, I understand, especially if you have a big city, why people are so excited. Okay, makes sense. Also, not super exciting, but super cool to have it this modular. And yeah, then also good night, Gaga. Thanks for tuning in and have a nice night as well.
Bye, have a great time.
Are the tombstones itself new, or are these are the ones we had already? Oh no, these are new. The big ones are new, aren't they? Can we use them? Yeah, we can. And with these, I'm actually not sure. Jay is probably the right person to answer this question. Not new. Also, the double ones aren't new. Really? Have I never noticed them? I built a custom cemetery a few months ago and looked at all of the tombstones and don't recall having seen those really big ones. Curious. See, I'm happy to have more knowledgeable people here that know what's going on instead of me. Yeah, I guess maybe. I've never used a random one, so I just use a specific one. Okay, curious, and I've said nothing. I would have expected, but again, I've only built a custom cemetery once since I'm playing the game, so did not expect to know any better. But yeah, I've never paid attention to those before. These are really cool though, I agree. Like, obviously, I'm just throwing them down at random, but if you connect those nice and give them a nice layout, then this is a lot of freedom. What I do find a bit problematic, actually, is that, or I'm curious about you guys' opinion, the base cemetery itself, the start of the modularity, is already pretty massive. Am I the only one thinking that? Because then if you want to make this truly unique and modular and inspired by itself, then you're gonna get at least twice as big as this, I guess. So I don't even mind that this is like the total size of it, but for how modular it is, it seems a bit... The start seems a bit too big. The pieces itself, all amazing. But yeah, then if you place, I don't know, 7 different modular parts of this and the main one, then absolutely massive. So yeah, a bit uncertain on if I like or dislike this. This is super cool though, because it saves a lot of work, though I guess it's a bit too... Yeah, no, it's a bit too clean. I would rather hand place this quickly. It's a bit more chaos. This is super interesting. Is this another... Because one of the things I'm missing in the game a lot right now, what are they using for that, is plaza pieces. It's why I'm so interested. I love this. This is new. I absolutely love this. What an absolute goddamn amazing prop. Crazy. That's perfect. does so good in plazas. We are gonna use this thing all the time. I adore this. I know everybody is excited for the cemetery itself. I'm not that excited for the cemetery itself. What gets me really excited about the cemetery is this building, and is this thing, and then is this statue as well. Oh, actually, even here I'm interested if this... Yeah, no, okay, it is the entire crematorium. I was curious if this is also a standalone prop or not. I'm fairly sure this is new. Like, while I am not certain about my knowledge about gravestones, I can guarantee you I know the other props well enough. Yeah, NL. I knew it. Like, I play this game a lot. I spent a lot of time in prop and find it menu. I've never seen this before. With gravestones, the only reason I don't know is because I don't build cemeteries all the time, but then with general props in the game, my knowledge is fairly extensive by now. This one is not new, for example. This we already have in the game, which also great asset, but then can't really reuse the same one over and over again, so any variation is appreciated. Is this also... Now we're actually talking. Can we not get this out by ourselves here? I guess not. I want to see how the static probable of this looks. Because also really cool if we can get that out by ourselves. Yeah, all of these are amazing for plazas. Like, honestly, this is probably what I'm the most excited about this entire pack so far. Is the amount of possibilities for plaza builds that I see in just this and this and this, and plaza are really limited in my opinion right now, unless you want to go pretty hard and make like a custom asset in the editor, then you can also get it really unique, but otherwise I think it's difficult, so any variation is welcome. For the cemetery, I don't like it so much, but then this could be a pretty interesting building also outside of a cemetery. Like, in my eyes, this would go perfectly well as a modern art museum, for example, or any kind of fancy, the office of an architecture studio, for example. So... honestly, also really cool building. It's also really cool, but the door makes this very specific. I don't like the door. Otherwise, this would be a great generic building we could reuse for 1,000 things. Yeah, I know. We're gonna have a look afterwards really quick, but I know that I already downloaded the static ploppables. StarQ has been very fast this time. I just want to look at the assets the ethical way first, and then we're gonna be unethical and use them however we want afterwards. But yeah, cemetery, really nice, lovely, honestly. What is this? Oh, it's a crematorium as well. I would have actually expected this to be... Is this just because we're in a tab? Or is there no other... There actually is no... Oh yeah, there is normal clinics as well. I was confused. We're just in the wrong tab. I thought for a moment there is just death care related assets, but does not seem like it. Is there other ones in any of these? No. Okay. Now we can have a look. This one is really nice because it's fairly generic. Also gigantic for being a crematorium though. But I love the amount of detail. Ah, this is the... Okay, this is part of the parking. This is the thing that we see in the extension for at the start. But honestly, I'm gonna use this standalone all the time. Especially for UK builds as well. Something like this right next to a council housing block seems super UK vibey. So honestly, very nice. Not sure if we can pull this one off in Los Vagos. It's a bit too modern for us, but otherwise very nice. This I don't like. Very plain and easy if I look at it. I don't like this clinic. Not saying it's not a great asset, but for Los Vagos, it's too... I like generic and I like plain, because then it makes them universal. This is too boring and plain, even for me always saying I like plain and boring. And this looks beautiful, but this seems not versatile at all. This seems very much big Dutch city to me. I don't really see any other country where you can have this hospital in. We will see, or not at the fight, or you mean this? Or you actually mean the fire station? If so, we will see in a moment, because we're making our way towards the fire station. Police? Or any other thing? No. 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 Okay, so this is the only one. This I like a lot, but now comes the interesting part I was wondering about. And it is the signage. I hate this. This would be one, if I could have one wish to all of the region pack creators, and I also don't know if this technically is possible, but I would assume it should be, because it works with something like the clock. All of these signage, if they're country specific, they should be sub-elements. What an absolutely gorgeous building. I would love to use this, but I cannot have this. Obviously, in my US build, I cannot have this signage. And yes, we can find creative works to cover them with right everywhere and turn it into something else. It's a lot of work. Most people are just not going to use the asset. And if all of the country-specific signage in the Dragon Gate pack and in the I don't know which other good examples there are, but there is a few. Not in the China pack, there is quite a few. The Japanese pack also has quite a lot of very nice. The Japanese pack is a great example, because I think the custom lettering and branding in the Japanese pack, beautiful, really nice. It's there, 10 out of 10. But because it's region specific, it would be so big if we could eat them out as a sub-element. Yeah, I agree. All of those things should be props. I understand why with other things you don't always gonna do that, right? But then, especially with country-specific thing, it's really problematic. Because yes, I guess this one is even fairly easy and simple to cover up, right? Not the biggest problem. But how does one cover this? We can just put a gigantic sign over it, I guess, but that looks not great. So yeah, the signage being on there with all of them is difficult. And welcome in, Baloo. You've not missed anything exciting today. We have not built anything or done anything at all today so far. We've literally only looked at all of the assets from the new region pack we've gotten. We are in the last moments of that, I believe, at least. But let's have a moment. Oh, and actually, I'm forgetting. This we checked for extension. It had none, but this we did not check. And it surely has. Oh my god. It becomes absolutely massive. Holy goddamn, is that a big hospital? But yeah, really nice building in a Dutch build. Lovely. And then what else can we do? Next this side. Or get off of it. So okay, yeah, it just makes it a bit bulkier on that side. Yeah, not changing the world, but the doubling up of it, that is a very, very big change. And how are you doing, Balu? How was your concert? I remember the last time when you were in stream, you said you have to go to bed because you had a concert in Rome the next day. How did that go? I did check your decals. It's even one thing we're gonna, depending on how long we need with this, we're gonna use your decals on stream today. But I even gave you my feedback on them. If you did not send me anything new, then I didn't see it yet. But if it's the ones you sent me some days ago, then I think I already said mostly what I think about them. Am I blind? What does this? Oh, it's the terrace in the back. Yeah, to be honest, this looks really ugly. Even if I would build a Dutch build, I would not want to use this fire station. Absolutely horrendous looking building. Not a bad asset. Seems well made and all. But goddamn is this one ugly building. This I quite like in general as well because it's generic. Again, I wish this would not have this signage. If this would not have this signage, this would be a great generic garage and commercial building. But yeah, the signage actually is a bit sad, though in this one it's not that difficult to cover it, I guess. Does this have any extensions as well? It doesn't. Is there any? No public transport, no port. Did we miss anything? Okay, I guess this we did miss. Holy, that felt like we're about to crash, but we're fine, I guess. Beautiful building. Holy shit, what an absolute unit. Like, you need a gigantic city to ever be able to use this, but pretty asset. I actually like it. I wish, please give us these lions by the... So cuties, I'm back. I forgot to charge my headset before streaming, and earlier it told me that it's on low battery, and then I proceeded to forget about it. So my headset just turned itself off, but I'm back. I wish, but yeah, they're obviously not. Oh, would this be cool if these would be separate meshes? Imagine if we could put these in plazas, in front of buildings. But yeah, I guess we cannot do that, but otherwise that would be amazing. But I love the building. Like, this entry gate is beautiful, like the big main entrance. But yeah, not something we will ever use in Los Vagos. Due to how it looks, and what does that change? Oh, it puts some more. I hate this. This is an absolute crime. They do this in many German hospitals as well, which makes sense. They need to modernize and add up space, but they take a historical building and then they build the most ugly looking modernist garbage in the middle. What an absolute crime to this building this extension is. Again, super realistic, so I like that extension. But otherwise, goddamn, poor building. Honestly, poor building. Oh shit, get well, Baloo. Nice, your tour went well, and nice, everything is successful, but yeah, unfortunate that you've gotten a fever right after. But I guess very typical after stressy things like that to get sick right away. Did we forget anything? We didn't, right? We've seen everything, I believe. The one thing I'm interested in immediately, and I want to check really quick, is if we go into the ploppables and filter after... Am I blind? Should there not be... Okay. Oh no, this is northeast. Am I actually blind? Should there not be an icon here for the NL pack? Did I not add the static ploppables? I was fairly sure that I added the static ploppables. Oh, and we missed a different public. Yeah, okay. Good call. Actually, you're totally right. Hold on. We don't have anything bus related, but yes, of course, we got the train related things. Holy, what an absolute unit. Yeah, you're right. I've even seen this spoiled in screenshots. Beautiful station. Wholeheartedly. Stunning. Stunning station. What the heck? I love this. Really beautiful. Also nice that they close that off, because that otherwise always get some weird artifacts. And even fairly nicely detailed from the inside. So in general, 10 out of 10. I like it. Also, I guess unrealistic in any other country, but then it's a Dutch asset, so I guess the amount of bike racks is realistic for them. But even in a country like Germany that is fairly bike friendly, I would say this is a bit absurd. But yeah, the more I look at the pack, there is a few things we can use, but it's not many. Is this the other clock? I love this. What an absolute beautiful clock. Super nice. Honestly, having more clocks by themselves is so nice.
My God! Okay, it's happening.
Honestly,
Everybody
so
stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Holy shit!
Calm!
Welcome in, Dava and Cuties. I guess we are just doing the same that you probably did on stream today. And looking at the Dutch assets, how was your stream and how is everybody and how did you enjoy the new region pack? And welcome in Kyle and Amy and Lavondis and Carnage and Q. And hope you're all having a nice evening. Yeah, we're literally at this right now because I'm excited that we can take this clock off of the... Does this actually track the time correctly? Why are they moving? Will these keep moving? That is such a cute detail, I did not even realize that. Does the other clock do that as well? See, everybody is so excited for the cemetery, and I am as well, Dava, but I have to admit, we had a look at the cemetery here, that I think the base building of the cemetery is a tad too big for how modular the rest of it is. So, I think I'm a bit conflicted with the cemetery, because I really love the way how modular it is and everything, but this is a tad too big, at least for my scale. What I am the most excited about with the cemetery is this thing, because if we use a static ploppable and move it underground, then beautiful, honestly, then absolutely beautiful as a statue. And as well, these ponds, like this thing is new and we can use this as a plaza centerpiece. So absolutely lovely. And then this, I've not looked at the static ploppable yet, we were about to. But since Dava is here, and it seems like you had a nice stream, I need to show you something, Dava, because I told you in chat earlier. And I was joking, first things, I have to show you an update to the mine we've been building that is nearly finished. We've done 0 progress today because we've only been looking at the region pack. But I'm pretty happy. We've been working on this part in the last stream. We've been working on this because we have a biker gang already, but I figured we cannot only have a biker gang, we also need actual professionals. So we have a scooter gang in the city as well to bring some rivals into the town for the biker gang, and we founded the Booty Riders, which sadly bring fear over Los Vagos since. But yeah, this is what
cute.
we've been building lately, and then we've been working our way up here. I'm gonna make a very silly joke, but what kind of pick are you talking about, Shock? There is multiple. And I don't know, Gaga immediately bought this building. This is Gaga's scooter gang, and Gaga immediately said, I want pigs on my property. And since he bought the scooter club, I just followed the command of the new boss and owner. In fact, this is supposed to be Gaga, the boss and leader of his scooter club. And clearly he's an actual professional and did this, which I'm not sure how happy his members are gonna be about. But who am I to judge? It's not my scooter club, it's Gaga, so he's also the one who has to live with it. But yeah, then we were working on this part, which we are still currently working on. I want this to be a dying town. I want this to be an old gold rush town that is not an entire ghost town yet. It's a struggling dying town. You have businesses still in half of the buildings, while right next to it you have abandonment and emptiness. So I think we're on our way there, but yeah, slowly getting here to get this town to be like half abandoned, half still intact, but generally run down and sad. And then eventually we're gonna finish off in this cute abandoned mine that we generally have a layout and everything for, but not really finished yet. If you like planters, I'm very proud of this planter. I actually built this planter in the editor, which I don't know why I did this, could have also built it inside of the game in a few minutes. But cause of what I just said, and I think there is so many missing nice plaza centerpieces, I try to make a few plaza centerpieces by myself, and this is one of the ones that I came up with. But now for the actual highlight of what I'm very excited to show Dava, and I hope Katie is still here. Dava, what do you think about this? Is this not beautiful? I've been telling you for weeks now I will build a nice target for you. Here it is. It is completed. The area around it, yes, we're still working on this. This is an unfinished part on the city, so don't bully us too hard. But of course, Dava, as a typical target hater, has already tried to vandalize and tag our poor target everywhere. Tags here. It's straight up target bullying. But yeah, we built this, and I'm actually fairly satisfied with it. We even went and build nice things like this, and obviously since it's the US, need to have people who are bitches and don't care and don't bring their card back. In a country like Germany, you know how we handle things like that? You don't get a fucking card unless you put a fucking euro in them. And then you get your euro back if you return your card. So in Germany, you will not have issues with people not returning their card, because otherwise it costs you a euro to take the card. But yeah, I guess that's not a thing in the States. So for you, you will have cards standing around everywhere. So we went a full mile and did that as well. And generally trying to slowly open up this last little bit area of Los Vagos and dive into the industrial side of the build a bit more, which really we started diving into the industrial side heavily when we started this build, but this is a mine and a quarry and like specialized industry. So while I think this turned out beautiful, it is not really very representative for the rest of the build. But then I am very proud of this part. I spent, I don't know, at least 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours just placing rocks on this godforsaken wall, because you can't just spam them or anything, because the terrain is so different that you actually have to manually and carefully adjust them everywhere and be really yeah, this has been very tedious, but I'm so happy because I really wanted this side, the quarry side of the build up here, where we have normal sand and stonework, to look very different visually from the mine side of our build, which is over here, where there is no work on the open mountains, but it's actually happening inside of the mines. So very happy about this. Actually, where we're looking at this, Wolf, welcome in. Where we're looking at this, Elgando is working on a decal pack, which we use quite a lot in the past already. And I think he made some doors for which one? I think for the one back here. He matched one of the doors for one of the specific sizes of these. I'm not sure which one, to be honest. Are you still awake, Elgando? Shouldn't there be? Did you not make doors exactly for these big gates here as well? I guess I'm mistaken, I take it back, but I hope you are all excited for this otherwise amazing pack, because you can redetail all of your shutters you have here, and they don't look as horrible as the vanilla ones anymore, which honestly very much appreciated. And I'm curious, what has been the favorite building beside the cemetery that everybody in the community seems excited about of the new pack? I guess the train station probably is far up for the train fan Dava himself. The substation is so hot looking. I very much agree. The substation is absolutely beautiful. I have not done anything else yet unhinged. Like I've tried all day to avoid spoilers. I even had a little time earlier where I could have watched Dava's stream, and I was in Dava's stream, and I stayed for the nice warm-up and welcome part, and then as soon as Dava loaded up the game, I abandoned and left his chat, because I did not want to get spoiled before. But yeah, I spent the entire stream pretty much looking at all of the stuff. And now the last thing that we have not looked at, beside, well, first we need to check if there's any more categories here. Is there any tram related things? Nope. Is there any subway related things? Also no. no water, no planes, obviously, and this is all mod related. Then I do think we've seen everything. The last thing I want to look at is props. And Jay said if we type LANL underscore, we should find all of the props. Because this is probably not as interesting for everybody as for me, but you guys know I love heavy detailing and diving into very small scale in the builds. So I am very interested in these kind of things. At this, for example, I already love it. Beautiful gate, really. What a nice entrance to mansion or noble big estates. And how are you doing today, Wolf? Yeah, maybe I should, but I don't think right now at least I'm hitting a solid 30 FPS. My computer is shit. This is like a 800 euro self-built. It's a surprise I can play on somewhat stable 30 FPS while streaming. So it's not gonna get any better than this. I don't think it matters for this. The wall is stunning as well though. Honestly, really cool wall asset to build things with as well. Do we have bigger and smaller variation of that? Yeah, okay, this is the bespoke bollard that obviously people know I love bollards that we heard a lot about. While I get that they put the XXX as a logo on there, it is a bit sad because it makes it fairly region specific, so I don't think we're gonna use this bollard super much. Hold on, there is a second version without a logo. I take everything back, I've said nothing. I love the bollard, what an amazing prop it is. Oh, it's a corner of that cemetery storage. Not gonna use this very much, I believe, because it is so individual. And then yeah, the orange cute detail, maybe you can get away with using it as a vase sometimes, but yeah, I guess too cemetery related. This, I love this. This, I think, is gonna make for an absolutely beautiful, I said it earlier when we looked at the cemetery by itself, what an absolutely beautiful modern museum or architecture studio, anything like that. Really interesting building with a lot of character, so big fan of it, honestly. What is it? Oh, it's a light. Okay, hold on. Is this a ceiling light or a floor light? How do we have to position this? Well, we'll find out. I'll move one up and one down. I guess we can place the other lights as well. Okay, we can already see it. Oh, it's light from the upside down. Why is this on? Should these not automatically turn off during the day and on during the night only? I'm surprised why these are off. The other ones are on right away. We'll turn on night mode in a second. See if the ones that are off also turn on. But yeah, that's a bit confusing. And for these, I'm super excited. Yeah, we've seen those earlier when we looked at the residential buildings. 10 out of 10. Not only as garden sheds, but also for like small industry, a small guardhouse, or anything in a backyard or related to smaller industry buildings. Really nice to have some flexibility with those. So big fan of this. In general, any small buildings that are smaller than the actual zoned ones, I'm super happy about. And the clock we already looked at, but now I'm curious because the other clock actually moves. This one also actually moves. That's crazy. Yeah? Do they match as well? Hold on. Will they actually match? They actually match. That's lit. they actually are, yeah, look at it. They actually are following the in-game time. That's super cool. Honestly, I would have not expected that to even be possible in this game. Maybe. Is there a park-related building? Because I clicked at the parks, but did not see anything. We'll revisit the park buildings in a moment. Because yeah, if there is a park building, we have not seen a Dutch park building. Yeah, this is the other clock. Really, this small thing, I know it's super basic and we could somehow build this by ourselves as well. But having this as a prop by itself, very appreciated. I'm happy about it. Oh, this is just a clock pointer. Cute wall lights, always welcome. We have some of those already. Yeah, I've not seen the windmill. That's right. I've seen the windmill in the Death Diary, so I had like a little spoilers before. But outside of the Death Diary, I've not seen anything. Is a windmill a park building? If so, then that makes perfect sense. Okay, I guess only lights, but still really cool to have some more traditional variation for these. Okay, yeah, you're right. We did not go through the categories. It's actually pretty sizable. I need to compare because my entire scale is Los Vagos related. Obviously, sadly, as beautiful as this asset is, this will not ever happen in Los Vagos. It just doesn't fit our building style or our architecture style in general. But yeah, it's also pretty beefy in size, which makes sense. Some of the windmills are pretty gigantic, but from looking at the images itself, I expected it to be smaller than it actually is. But beautiful asset. And these turning as well, super cool. Which also means that if we will get the asset editor, people will be able to actually animate things in the asset editor as well, I guess, if this is something we can pull off. I mean, maybe, but then that's gonna be a long time in the future. But yeah, I will have to agree with STRGS. I don't even know, because it's a German thing on a German keyboard. I don't know how to pronounce that in English, but I'm very much with you. The substation is the absolute clear winner of this entire pack. What a gorgeous little building. I don't know when or how we're gonna use this, but I definitely wanna use this because this really fits our build and is beautiful. Honestly, else for our build, it's not that many things we can use. The pack seems really great, and I'm happy for the variation we get. But for our build itself, I think the cemetery related things are interesting. These ones are interesting later on, and then these council housing blocks also seem fairly interesting. And then a very few variations of the row houses also seemed appropriate, but generally it indeed, surprisingly, the Dutch pack looks pretty Dutch, so I don't think we are gonna work out on that. Now, you did this to yourself, but I'm always curious in seeing the builds for people. If you don't mind, gladly join my Discord and post the build you did with it, because honestly, I would love to see what you did with it. This also gets me really excited. I have never seen anybody even mention this and not be so excited about it. But having this right next to some normal council housing blocks as well, for a British build especially, this seems like a really, really nice asset. honestly, looking at this assets, there is so many buildings who work well for a UK build as well. That for every UK builder, this together with the UK pack alone will give a really solid foundation for a UK build. If you type !Discord in chat, then it should post you the link, or you can find it on my about page. Hold on, I can do it for you. Real quick. Now it should post the link. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. And with that, I do think we actually finally managed to work our way through the entire Dutch pack, which I don't know why I didn't delete them quicker while placing them, because now we have to go blast through here real quick. But not really, our entire environment around here is also just randomly thrown down things. Oh, hold on, before we delete everything, one thing we forgot, and it's looking at this. The others all turn on and off, and the very bright ones are always on, even during the day. I'm not sure if I like that, and I'm not sure why that is the case. These look great though. I love how soft and old school the light of these bars is. So these we will definitely try to use in some more industrial builds. And these are also really cute to add some small highlights and detail. In general, not a bad pack. Again, not the best pack for us in Los Vagos, just because the style is not very fitting for us, but for any EU builder, this seems like an amazing pack, really. The one thing I'm confused about, were we not supposed to also get some dates today? That did not happen, or did I just miss that because I was streaming? Were we not supposed to also get communicated some more dates today? I don't have my Discord open right now, or I will check it after stream. Holy, this is so curious. Good we checked out the lightning, because we would have not seen that. Look at this. To be quite honest, I'm not sure if I like this more or less. Yes, it's very vibey, it brings a lot of character. I don't hate it, but it makes it a lot more specific. It makes it more difficult. It makes it a lot more difficult to use this. But yeah, it looks really cool. I would have not seen this. Like, if we would have not checked for the lights, then I would have not seen this. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna consider it. And fair, I'm proud of you for standing up and sticking to your values and expecting something for yourself. Why are these so annoying to delete? Holy heck. But yeah, even here you can see it, like, lights up like that. And what do you mean you don't think that happened? You also mean the light? Will the... Hold on, now comes the question. Will all of the extensions delete themselves if we hit this? Yes, okay, nice. That is just a surface test that we can leave there. This we still thrown down. I should have deleted while we plopped all of those down, but at least with all of these we don't have to confirm. So we basically done it. And seeing that there is an ad break in 50 seconds, I have not taken a break since we started stream today. Real careful, flashbang incoming. I will send you guys on a quick road trip while I run to the toilet really quick. Just wanna find a police patrol. Perfect, this gentleman. And I'm gonna put the game speed on half so it's a bit nicer, and then I'll be right back with you guys in like 2 or 3 minutes, because I desperately have to run to the toilet and grab something to drink. Oh well, yeah, now I get it. My bad. I'm being silly. But yeah, I don't think that happened either. But I'll be right back, and have a wonderful good night, Elgando. And I'm gonna be back in like 2 minutes or something, maybe 3, 4, 5. Alrighty, I'm back. Sorry for that. And yeah, the timing is a bit sad because now Elgando left. But now is the moment where we're finally ready with looking at the region pack. So now we have time to look at new Elgando decals, because not only did Elgando work on those doors and windows that I've been showing a bit lately, Elgando also did a small update to one of his packs, which gives us a bit more freedom in this area, getting things dirty and run down. Thank you, Poplar. I am very happy about the bollards, so I have to admit I'm not sure if I prefer the old bollards over the bollards I already have in game. But any bollard variation is welcome and happy for me. And also, congrats on your new and amazing map. For anybody who has not looked at it, Poplar made a map for the new region pack, and it is a stunning map. And not only is it a stunning map, but he also made a very stunning showcase video of the map for it, and I wholeheartedly enjoyed watching that. Sadly, I don't think I'm gonna leave Los Vagos anytime soon, so I'm not gonna be partaking in your new map, sadly, but then it does look very beautiful. And am I blind? Why did all of these reorder? I'm actually blind. Where the... Oh, I am blind. Now here, if we have a look at that, I'm sure some of you are using this pack by Elgando already, which already has a lot of nice decals that we like to use in the past. What he added is some variation for slighter stains that I am very happy about, because I think many of the stains we have in-game are too dirty. They would be realistic, but then the issue is that the rest of the game is so plain and bare bones. Or the rest of the assets in this game, if you would look at a freshly plopped down asset, anything like this, it's so incredibly clean and has so little grudge and dirt that if you add a lot of dirt and grudge to a building, it very quickly becomes too extreme in contrast and it looks very rundown, even though you just wanna give it some realistic weathering. And I do think these very light ones that Elgando made here are a great compromise, because they still keep the building in general pretty clean, but then they do give some realistic light weathering, so big fan of them, honestly. There is a few other nice new ones, but then these new ones that he made are my very favorites for exactly the reason I just named. Yeah, I mean, nothing in my chat, nothing is too weird to say it. In fact, I had a very funny moment in Dava's stream today that I wholeheartedly enjoyed. Before I went to stream myself, I was in there for a moment. And I told Dava that I made a target build that I was proud of. And Dava said, well, you need to send me a pic of that booty, which I understand what he tried to say, but then worded like that, a bit difficult, I guess, or not difficult, depends on what he wants to receive. But yeah, careful, have to be careful in the wording. And I mean, I can't really relate with maps, because I've never even considered making a map in this game, so I have no idea about how time consuming it is, but I can tell you that only this small area of our build, we've been on this for the last months. I was in holidays for over a week in that time as well, so it's not like this is a whole month, but I'm probably above 50 or 60 hours for just this very small area of my build. So 100 hours that not seem shocking to me for an entire map, to be honest. Especially if you really go hard on the terraforming and you would like try to correct everything as much as you can, then yeah, that seems fairly easily reachable to me. But again, I've also never made a map, so I have no reference. But yeah, look at how nice these saints are, because really, they leave the building in general very plain, without making it feel too dirty, but then you actually get some realistic grudge. And it's a perfect moment, as always. Elgando is a regular viewer in my channel, and I feel honored about that. It's not a coincidence. He updated his stain pack right when we're working on the abandoned part of our city, trying to get things to look rundown. So I'm very happy, very appreciated. I think sadly he just left a few minutes ago, so he's not hearing any of those nice words, but we are very happy about these stains regardless. Though, as with everything Algendo makes, I'm both very happy and thankful, as well as I'm slightly annoyed and tilted, because these are so good. Now we have to use them everywhere, and it's gonna be a lot of work for us to do that. So maybe I take it back. I think they look great. Am I happy we have them? I'm not certain, because it's gonna cause a lot of work for us. But do I think they look amazing? Yes, I 100% do. And welcome in, Mother. Nice to see you here. How are you doing today? I think you were streaming today as well, right? I'm not sure. I really only jumped into Dava's chat really short earlier, and then into Moose chat for a few minutes, and then I jumped on and went to stream as well. So not sure who else was on, but if you were streaming, hope you had a nice stream. I don't even know what that would translate to. DBD. Dragon Ball's Dungeon. That's not a game I know, but that's the only thing I can come up with. I have no clue what you even played. But yes, these, for example, again, I've been fawning about these stains so much. I love these. These are so light. I don't think they make the building run down. I don't think they make this shitty. I think they add exactly the slight and right amount of dirt and grime and stains to them. Because if we look at many of the older stains we have in the build, for example, the Sully stains, I do think these are very well made, and I like them, and I do think there is specific parts in a build where they can look really good. But goddamn, everything you put them on immediately looks like is a crack house, because this is so rundown, it hurts, and for a lot of the detailing I personally want to do, it's just too dirty. But have to work with what we have, and there used to be quite a bit of a gap in either you go really dirty or you stay very clean, and I think these add a very nice middle ground to get some grudge into builds without it being super dirty, right? Because this is a dying town. Yes, there is this run-down, horrible and shitty abandoned building right next door. So this clearly is not super well kept or in great shape, so we want grudge, just not to the same amount. Well, then if you like watching VODs, feel free to watch my VOD, because we literally just started actually playing the game like 10 minutes ago, and the entire time before we did nothing else but looking at the new Dutch pack. Which Georgia's pack, really nice, very excited for it. Will we use many of those assets in Los Vagos? I don't think so. But we will use a few of them, especially the substation, because goddamn is beautiful. But yeah, great pack in general. Especially for you, because you build European, I think you will be a lot more excited about the pack than I am. And again, it's not because I don't think the pack is not amazing. I do think the pack is very amazing, but I don't think it matches our build too well. So for us, it's not that much in it. No, well, yeah, fair. I'm curious, because it's one of the things that scares me about doing YouTube more serious, beside me simply lacking that time to do more regular YouTube content. I also don't have much free disk space, and recording video is so much footage. How much footage do you roughly have in gigabytes? Because you are playing in 4K, right? You must have hundreds of gigabytes per single episode you're doing, no? I would assume so, at least. God damn it, we did not place that perfectly. Can we save this? Yeah, we can save this. Nice. Because if we would have stayed in this already, we could have not saved this, and then I would have been annoyed with that small white gap in between. But yeah, if anybody is not aware, Maza is not only a very nice city streamer, though streams a lot of variety as well. He does have an incredible YouTube series of a good European build, and European builds are in general rare in cities. And I would say good European builds are very rare, so if you're interested, go check out Maza on YouTube. Where you've been very consistent so far. Like, you put out a video every single week, no? Yeah, I had a bit of a cactus breakdown yesterday, because Sunny, who was here earlier as well, spent pretty much the entire time without spoiling anything, because he has early access and an NDA, so he can't. But he spent a lot of time teasing me yesterday, telling me that I would be very excited for something happening tomorrow. But then obviously he couldn't say anything, so he just teased me the entire day, and I kept asking him if I'm finally getting a cactus in the game or not. Which the answer was no cactus, but more Bollords, so I do understand. I am indeed excited for more Bollords. Yeah, I guess maybe with the DK placement, even though this has to be done, I think probably I'm gonna do some of that off stream. What I wanna dive into a bit more is this, because I wanna create some kind of central plaza here. I don't really know exactly how I imagine it to look. I want the plaza to pretty much be abandoned. I want this to be kinda in use. I want this to be kinda in use. I want this to fully be abandoned as well, so we're gonna have to go through here and really run this down. But I really care about having a mix of still lived and entirely abandoned, right? Like, this clearly has been inhabited for a while and is entirely abandoned and left behind. These poor people, they don't want to abandon their house. They're still living in the mess of abandoned surrounding. So it's difficult. I've never built something like this before, so we're slowly trying our way into this and figuring what we want to do, and I guess that's what we keep doing. But yeah, I have no clue what kind of plaza we're planning to do here. I'm also not sure. I guess probably we're gonna wall this off later, because I want this to be a bit more industrial parking like, and then this I wanna get to be an actual plaza. And with the actual plaza, we can right away use one of the new assets, which I'm excited about. And where is it? The pond. Because this is an absolute 10 out of 10 centerpiece for a plaza. And I love it. We are gonna go and dive in and use this right away. Yeah, it's one of the new assets. Or not assets, one of the new props. There is a lot of nice assets as well. But I am very excited about this because we have so little variation for anything like that. In fact, I wanna try out real quick. I was surprised, why did I not find aesthetic ploppables of the NL pack earlier? Because here, if I go on the aesthetic ploppables, why not? There is no NL here either. I'm surprised because I'm fairly sure I added the static ploppables. But then I cannot find it. I would love to look at that weird structure from the cemetery and see how that looks lowered into the ground. Yeah, we do. Maybe I messed up adding it properly, but I've seen that we have it and thought I added it before I loaded into the game. Starkey was very fast this time, but then not sure if I'm just being bad at the game and not using find it correctly to get them to pop up, or if I don't know what the issue is, but I don't seem to be able to find them. So I will have to check that otherwise, but yeah, should be there. If you were better and more competent at the game than me, then I'm sure you will have no problem using them. Here again, I'm not entirely sure what I plan on doing here, so we're gonna have to figure this out together a bit. And maybe we also have to get rid of the decals, because maybe the passing here is not gonna be obvious enough. I would like to get some kinda center circle-y plaza vibe here that we can dress up with a bit of benches and such. Obviously, we're gonna have all of this overgrown, so doesn't need to be super accurate, but I think these passes really do a lot of heavy lifting in shaping areas a bit. Then I guess we can keep pretty basic, because this is supposed to be a really small town. We don't need anything crazy here. I think a single entrance to both sides is totally enough. Really? Did I add it incorrectly, or am I just being blind? How did you find it? Do you have an NL icon here? Because if you do and I don't, then I guess I just messed up and I didn't add it correctly. Wait, hold on. Give me one moment, because I have my Skype open. I should see it. I did not add it correctly. That's on me. I don't know how that happened. I clicked on the plus earlier. But yeah, that's on me. I can see it in my Skype. It's not in my playset. Yeah. I just messed up, like, wholeheartedly. I can literally see in my Skype that it's not activated. So no surprise that I also can't find it. Maybe I was too impatient before launching the game earlier, because I did add it, but then went ahead and somewhat quickly loaded into the game. So maybe just my impatience punishing me. Actually, the more I look at this, I do think we wanna bring the park in here a bit more and then use the outside more industrial, maybe up till somewhere here. But I do think we want a second small bow around this. And then I do think we also probably try to decorate this a bit fancy at the start, how it would have looked if it would have been nice. And then afterwards we're gonna go in and get it overgrown. The new windmill, sadly, is way too big. I think it's a beautiful asset, and maybe somehow we can find a proper reason to use that in Los Vagos in future, because yeah, it looks stunning. But currently, yeah, I don't have a good idea, and I don't think it fits if we don't have a really good reason for it. Something like this, maybe. Do we like this? Do we dislike it? I do think I kinda like this. And then here we can go in with vegetation pretty heavily. You know what? I actually think we're gonna bring this all the... We might go in and delete this path. I'm not sure if this is the correct approach, but I wanna try how it looks if we bring the park entirely through it and just have this like half industrial use as well on this side. I had one very scary freeze earlier when I selected the gigantic... I don't even remember what it was. What building was the one that was so absolutely goddamn gigantic? Maybe even I think a hospital. I'm not sure, but one of the really big assets earlier, when I clicked it, my game also froze for like a second, and I was like, oh god, no, I'm gonna be welcomed by my desktop. But then, luckily, we recovered and I was fine. But I mean, mother than the truth is also, you only have a 5090, so I don't think you can expect proper stability in a demanding title like Cities. Maybe you should buy yourself a proper graphic card first before complaining about the game. And again, it's gonna look a lot too nice at the start, because I'm just figuring out a bit how we shape this to give this some proper vibes. I don't want this to look nice later. We're gonna have a lot of overgrownness and make this not unnice. I want it to be obvious that this was nice in the past, but then it's pretty abandoned and unused nowadays. Yeah, it's actually strange. Because I know that there is quite a few people, like, I hope it's fixed now, but I know that Fashion also had quite a bit of stability issues. And I looked at his logs and gave him a few recommendations, and I think he said afterwards he'd been generally fine, but I have such solid stability in this game that I'm always a bit surprised when I hear how much people are crashing, because I used to crash a lot. It's not that my game always was super stable, but in recent months it's been absolutely flawless. Not the game flawless, Cities has many flaws, but then stability-wise it's been good with me, really. Windows 14, are you from the future, Lavonis? I thought I'm up to date with Windows 11. Whenever somebody talks about a Windows XP, I remember Windows Millennium Edition, Windows ME, which, horribly to that time. The family computer in the household I was living in had Windows Millennium Edition. Goddamn, that shit was even worse than Vista, and Vista was one gigantic crime that should have never happened either. So, I don't think Windows 10 or 11 are as bad as Vista or Millennium Edition, for example, have ever been. And yeah, mate, of course. Don't die of hunger for a booty stream, that's not worth it. Grab yourself some nice snack. In fact, I did not have time to have proper dinner before I went to stream, so I am also getting pretty hungry, even though it's late and I shouldn't eat that late, but I will have to stop streaming and get some kind of night snack as well. And again, I noticed, like, especially the vegetation plopping here in the ground, it's not exciting, and I know I feel sorry for having to do this, but then the truth is, we have to do it. It's a big game changer for the general look of the build, and while this is a bit tedious, it absolutely pays off, and everybody should do this. Even in not as shitty rundown areas as this, just obviously to a bit lesser extent. I'm going pretty overboard here because I want this to be abandoned. But if you don't want it to be abandoned, then just do it a bit less. And I'm not sure if Metzger is still here. Maybe not, maybe yes. But I have to compliment Metzger for this building again. Because not only does that building look amazing, it's this thing. When it's correctly placed, it also looks amazing when it's lowered into the ground. Oh, and I guess I should have not said that right when the ad break happened. I'm always bad with timing that correctly. So I'm gonna shut up till the ad break is over real quick. And we're definitely gonna go over this with more like normal abandoned vegetation later as well. This is actually just a pretty normal ground layer to me to get the area a bit in shape, and then once we go crazy we can roughen it up a bit more in general. Oh, and yeah, you are here. Then you can even hear. Oh yeah, you are subbed right now, so you can even hear, so I can say it. Maybe I told you this before, but I think this thing works really nice, just lowered. Because then you just get a normal hut, right? And I needed some more variation of just normal, smaller buildings like that. And again, it's just this thing lowered into the floor, and suddenly you have an absolutely cute small hut with no door, which I will admit is a bit flawed, but we can use some Algendo decal on there, maybe. I mean, sure, but then I would have to go into the editor and endure physical pain of being in the editor. So rather, I just take something I can use and not have to go into the editor. Which I don't even hate the editor if I'm in the editor. What I hate so much about the editor is that I cannot go into the editor on my main playset without crashing, because I have too many things in my playset. So if I go into the editor on my main playset, I will see my desktop no matter what. So if I'm in the game and I'm like, oh, I would like to build this in the editor, it means I have to close my game, change to a different playset for the editor, then I do something in the editor, and then I close my game again, change the playset back, and load back into the game. I spent less time in the editor than rebooting my game to go into the editor real quick, and that fact alone makes me be very unwilling to go into the editor unless I have multiple things I want to do, where I'm like, okay, I need this, this, and this, and today I'm gonna knock all of them out and try to get them. But unless I do that, I find the editor very painful to interact with. If I could just leave the game we're in, load into the editor real quick, and then load back into the game, I would love it. I would spend a lot of time in the editor, because it's super nice to build quickly repeatable things in there, but since it's as unhandy as it is, I cannot handle it. And I'm not entirely sure about the fence yet. I want to have a look at it. I guess it should be fenced off. It's a proper park, so yes, we should fence it off. Visually, I'm not entirely sure I love it. I think we're probably gonna try to lower it, which... curious moment here. Will we be able to touch the net lane here, or won't we? Yeah, we won't be able to, because we have decals everywhere. That makes this a lot more annoying, because that means we have to place it somewhere else, put it in the correct horizontal values, and then move it there. I think we're just gonna place it like it is right now, and then off stream, if I'm motivated, I can correct it. Or maybe I'm not motivated and it's gonna stay at this ease as well. Just bring it up there. That's solid. On their side, I'm gonna leave it open for now, because I don't exactly know how I wanna finish it up. I just wanna get the general vibe in there, because I think already this does quite a lot of heavy lifting, and it's really nothing special. It's just a small, shitty rundown park that now we're gonna put some nice details in there, and then afterwards we're gonna spend time to destroy those details and have them less nice. Which kind of bench is the correct one? I actually think maybe the very classic one. This is not an unfancy park. Yeah, I do think this might be the right fit. Because many of the other benches are so modern, like this and this one are really modern. This could also be a fit. Actually, I think with the vibe of all of this environment, do we prefer this bench or do we prefer this bench? None of the wood colors is perfect, but we could correct that, of course. Initially, I thought I preferred this one. Looking at it now, I think I actually prefer the really shabby camping bench. I mean, it is very shabby. Difficult. Honestly, both of them are well-fitting. This is a bit fancier and nicer, I guess, for a proper town plaza build. I cannot decide. I think probably I prefer this one. Maybe somebody in chat disagrees, then I will go with whatever somebody suggests to me. If nobody suggests anything, then this is the one we're gonna go for, I think. And yes, that's a lot of benches, but I do want this to be like the one central place people sit in, and then the rest of the park is gonna be pretty basic. Honestly, I already like this. Maybe it would need like 2 more benches back here, but I think it already gets too much. We can see if we find some other small cute detail we can fit there instead. Maybe one of those... Which category are they in? Should they not be in this? The camping tables. I guess we can just knock out the bins first, because we will have to do that anyways. A bin here, a bin here. And maybe one somewhere back here. And I know we will find them to find it, but they should also be in this menu. I'm literally just looking for the very regular, I guess it's not in here, camping chair or table combination that should be in this menu. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, of course, Dava. Enjoy your dinner. I probably won't stream very long anymore, so I'm gonna wish you a nice night, and thank you so much for the raid. If anybody in my channel is not aware of who Dava is one of the single very best Cities Skylines players in the game, and probably the single biggest train nerd in the game. So for anybody into trains and anybody into cities in general, go check out Dava. Absolutely wonderful streamer and generally nice vibes over there, so highly recommend. There we go. For once I actually did a proper shout out. That's rare in my channel, but I'm trying to get a bit better. And also, big thanks for the raid, of course, Dava. Very appreciated. Now with something like this, I'm a bit uncertain, because I do want this to be so abundant. Maybe we can manage... We'll have to play around with this a bit. If we can manage to get this to look really shabby, and actually angle it shitty and get it to look properly broken and run down, then maybe we can get away with this. Otherwise, I don't think I like it. The rotation should actually be the other direction, because it looks weird if the big wheels are in the ground. This is too much. I'm trying, guys. I'm just not very good at the game. I'm not sure if I hate it. Maybe if we get enough overgrownness in this area, I think we can kind of pull this off. So I'm gonna leave it for now. Really, a lot of this is I've never worked with something overgrown like it is here. So with quite a lot of this, it is a lot of trial and error till we get a look that we're actually happy with. But honestly, I don't think we're gonna do very much there. Thanks for tuning in, mate, and have a wonderful evening and a good night. And I'm curious about getting or having a look at the substation build you pulled off. What kind of brown? I do think you're right that even this needs to be a lot less vibrant. And the colors should be shittier. Yeah, I guess you are right. We need to go even heavier in the colors. Again, we also have these amazing decals that I so happily showed off earlier that Algeno made. These stain decals. I told him to please make sure that they draw on everything. Now we have these amazing, somewhat light stains. We have a lot of power to also get things like this to be more rundown, right? So all of this is just to be treated as a base. I don't want to go super heavy on the details and decals yet, because I don't exactly know how I want the area to look. But just as a quick show of what we can do later when we are certain what we want to do with this area. Because yes, we definitely need some... If we're gonna keep this, we need some branch like this. And then I think that already makes a world of difference, right? Like even just adjusting the angle and then a bit of decal work. We're gonna leave it for now because I'm not certain if we want to have it or keep it at all. But I don't hate it, so maybe. I just wait, like, I think Elgendo is pretty much done with those decals, so only a question of time. Elgendo's been working on many very nice packs lately, and I am using most of them already. They will be uploaded sometime soon, so I'm sure it's gonna be something nice in there for all of us. The one thing that's missing a bit here, but we don't have that much space, but yeah, we should go in there as well with a bit of boulders. Not too much, but then for how rocky the rest of the entire area is, we definitely need some rocky vibes in here as well. And then that also limits the terrain a lot more, which honestly I'm quite thankful for. Because in those abandoned places, it's pretty difficult to get them to look interesting if they're detailed, and I think these rocks already give us a lot more base detail. So yeah, good we have some of these. Don't want to go over the top. Something like this should already be pretty close to what I want. I guess here we actually should close it. So here we can put maybe 1 or 2 more rocks, and then we should put vegetation and a fence so people get in from there. And here maybe a single rock. I think that's enough. Not yet. 1 more maybe. Cities Skylines has to be the worst game for me, as in I'm nearly done with it. I always still find 100 more things that I can still do or click or place. So really curious. Yeah, I know, Lavondis, that it's amazing. I was really excited for that, because if a pack is not recolorable, like the French pack, no matter how amazing the pack is, it's gonna be a lot more difficult to properly use that pack. So I was very excited as well to see that everything is recolorable. One of my gripe, but that's not exclusive to the new packs that I ranted a bit over earlier when we looked at that pack, is that all the country-specific signage, for example, where you mentioned police, in the police station, that looks really cool. It has obviously Dutch-specific police signage, and I don't understand why country-specific signage is not always a sub-element in the region packs, right? Because as soon as you have that weird Dutch lettering on there, you cannot use any of those service buildings outside of a Dutch build, which without the lettering you totally could. And yes, I know we can also cover it up with right everywhere, but that seems very tedious and not like most people would do that. So just having it as a sub-element instead would be really big. Yeah, I was super confused. Is that actually true? I think SCRGS said earlier that the pack is only 1.6 gigabytes big. that seems incredibly small for the amount of assets that are in that pack. Which honestly, 10 out of 10, amazing. Like, that's crazy. But is that actually the case? Is that small? And if so, how did they manage to get it that small compared to some of the other packs? Because yeah, that will become really important once, not only once we get the editor, like honestly, with how little disk space many people have, that will become important even before the editor makes it into the game. So really cool. Like if that is true and the pack is really only like 1.6 gigabytes, then impressive work. I don't know how you even go about keeping 3D models small. Honestly, this looks way too cute for now. Like, we really need to get this to look more run down, but it helps me to get things in a clean shape first, and then after I have the clean shape to revert it and get it dirtier. But currently, yeah, this is way too cute for what I actually want in this area. I want this to look cute 20-30 years ago, and nowadays there is still a bit of cuteness visible in this, but it's clearly not well taken care of and kinda dying out. Which honestly, I wasn't sure if that's something I managed to pull off convincingly in Cities before I dove into this build. But then in a few lots where I tried to get that abandoned look in a bit more appropriate, which for example this lot here is fully abandoned for me, or this lot here is an abandoned lot, I do think it works out quite well. So this is pretty much the vibe we want to get into a park as well. It's a bit more difficult here because obviously we can't really nail things close, and I also don't want this as abandoned. Like, I still want people to be able to go in this park and sit down. I just don't want it to look properly taken care of. Which really, I guess, in this park mainly means we go heavy in with proper ground vegetation like this, and we grow it in places where it shouldn't be growing. Like, not as over the top as we've done in other parks. Again, I still want people to be able to use this, but I also wanted to not well kept. And I think something like this already brings us in the right direction for that. Where the paths clearly are passable, you can get through everything. It's not like entirely overgrown, but it's definitely been a while till somebody came here to do some proper maintenance work or yards work. And also, having a look at the timing, is quite a bit later than I expected to be. We're gonna keep pulling through a bit, because I want this park at least to be in a somewhat nice shape we're happy with, but I will have to jump off pretty soon as well. A bit, don't worry. And like tomorrow, I actually don't have to get up super early, so it's not gonna be super soon. But yeah, like half an hour maybe, then I should hit it. If not alone for the reason that I'm actually getting hungry. And you can relate, because you also stream in English and it's not your mother tongue, but I feel like especially when I'm getting tired, I start also lacking vocabulary in English a lot more. So I start being stuck a lot more, searching for words and losing my train of thought, which I think would happen in German as well, but not to the same extent, just 'cause it's my natural first language that I feel used to and comfortable with. So in English, I feel like if I'm tired, then it's a lot more noticeable than it would be if I was talking in German instead. And with these, I'm a bit conflicted because I think for now it is still a tad too clean. I don't want to ruin this too much, but I think some overgrownness here slightly of these actual green growing plants onto the passes is needed as well. But this is slowly getting into a direction that I'm at least somewhat happy with. Oh, here we need to close the site as well. I should have done that already. We can ease down here already. I mean, actually for me that doesn't happen so much, but in all fairness as well, I'm dating a Latina and we're speaking English most of the time. Or pretty much exclusively, I shouldn't say most of the time. But my Spanish is not yet good enough to properly communicate, and neither her German. So I do speak a lot of English in my normal daily life outside of streaming as well. So I guess it's a bit more used to me. It's starting to get in the right vibe, but it's still too cute. Why is it still so cute? It should look more rundown already. First things first is please be a sub-element. That light is tilting me off. Okay, nice. That makes me happy. Even the air condition in a place like this, no air condition. Now we're gonna try if we can close this off somewhat believable, because I think that will help a lot already. Because yeah, definitely while the park is still in use, the cute kind of kiosk shop we have here, I don't see this to be in use at all anymore. This is closed off and untaken care of. Angle this in a way where it fits. This is alright enough. And then here, I actually think we don't have a depth. This is a bit difficult because none of the wood planks we have are short enough for what we actually need here. We can try how it looks if we place them like this and then just bring them out to the front so they're sitting quite far away, but maybe that's the best solution. Let's have a look here with these, and now if we take them with move it, but this is gonna be finicky because there are so much things, but there we go. We carefully move them out to the front. Is this a look we're happy with? Kinda, but then the issue is we can also only do that on every second window, and what do we do with the middle ones? I guess with the other ones we can angle them vertically and have them run over the top as well. Okay, I think that works. If we just alternate between this and then this here, and obviously we have to move all of them out, but let's see if we have them alternate here and we move them in place, how that looks. I mean, in general, I'm happy about any Spanish help I can get, so appreciate it. But then since I mainly want to speak Spanish for and with my girlfriend, I don't think it has to be that aggressive, while bullying is my love language and I like doing that. Maybe the words fitting my bullying don't have to be super mean. It looks a bit weird, but wholeheartedly, I don't think we have a much better option than this. I think this is how we're gonna nail this close. Because we have no other window boards. This is the smallest option we have. We have these otherwise, but this looks even sillier. And maybe we can even alternate and put one of those here, and then if we move it out, it's another third different variation we can get in. You know what? Why not? We're gonna use this twice as well to actually get this really badly closed off. Yeah, I don't even mean this to be zombie-like. Maybe this is also not realistic that we close all of them off, but at least if from my main cultural influence, which clearly I'm German, so Germany, if you have abandoned parts in older cities that are kinda dying out, you will pretty much always have the houses nailed closed because people are scared of, I don't know, people squatting in them and not leaving the place anymore or making kind of nonsense in them. So at least here, if something is not inhabited anymore, it's pretty much always nailed close. The main thing is what nearly closed or nearly crashed my game earlier. Now I remember, because Maza was saying his game nearly crashed when he opened one of the assets. Yeah, when I opened that gigantic mail thing, my game nearly crashed. And I seen the extensions in the back. I think the extension in the back is incredibly ugly and super realistic. Sadly, we do the same in many many hospitals here in Germany, where the hospital is a bit outdated and too small, and they need more space. They then go onto these very pretty old buildings and build some modern extensions onto them. It looks horrible, but then it is what it is, really. Holy, I cannot touch these correctly. Please, yes, number 1. Number 2. And now let me actually move you, please. Okay, we're just gonna have to low or free flow this because I cannot see what we're doing. That seems alright. I mean, honestly, you like building European. I don't like to build European, so for me that pack has, while I find the assets beautiful and very well done, and I'm excited for everybody, they're not that exciting for me. But yeah, if you build a big European city, they seem amazing, really. So I understand that it makes you want to build bigger. Yeah, but the window hatches are too clean. I know that I have them as an alternative, but I want these boards because they look very run down and unorganized and like self-hammered onto it. While the actual window hatches, they are really clean. I think there are also cute details, but for something that is not yet abandoned. And then for something like what we're trying to build here that is pretty much abandoned, then I don't think they really fit the vibe for that. Okay, here we're gonna try. This is a bit finicky, but can we manage to get this to look somewhat smoothly sanded in the top? Maybe multiple layers. That looks pretty smooth. Actually, I'd like to even get the bottom of it very slightly, because the dark roof just looks unfitting, especially if they're as dark black as this. Then I'm generally not a fan of it. And what I used to do a lot in this build that I would never ever do anywhere else is use this decal even on the side. Maybe it's a tad too much here, but I actually don't think so. Because really, I want this to be abandoned, not for a year or two, right? Like, this has not seen any usage in the last 10 years of this sad city's life. 50 years ago, maybe 70 years ago, this used to be a lively and happy, pretty town, but then those times are long gone. Yeah, honestly, probably raccoons living there. I'm honestly wholeheartedly sad about the animal variation we have in the game. Because I would love many animals, right? Raccoons and foxes, for example, I think would be super cool. A coyote maybe would be amazing, but a bit more region-specific animals to transport the vibe. But then we don't really have much region-specific, and if it's region-specific, then it's unfitting to our area. So we're kind of stuck with dogs and maybe pigs and maybe cows, I guess, and horses, of course, but really that's kind of it. See, raccoons for me are super curious, because I guess in the US raccoons are very unlike, because for a reason they're called trash pandas. I guess they terrorize everybody and eat everything. As somebody who is European and doesn't struggle with raccoons destroying my garbage outside my house, I find them very cute. I think raccoons look incredibly cute and are absolutely adorable creatures, so I love raccoons. I think they're really cool. Which maybe I would see different if they spill my trash every second morning and I have to pick it up from my driveway, but then that's not a thing over here, so I find them cute. I guess, yeah, most US citizens are not the biggest fan of raccoons. This single detail here does such heavy lifting in our roofs. It's a single best option we have for our desert build to dirty the roofs of things slightly. If we would not have this, we could not do this, and I do think the difference this makes visually is incredible. And yes, it's quite tedious and a bit annoying, but then look at the difference from a few seconds ago to now. I do think this really always pays off. With this garage here, actually, while we're at it, we can do that right away. Because I don't want this city to get much traffic. I generally want there to be kinda little vehicle traffic. But again, I say it 100 times today, I don't want this fully abandoned. There is people living in here, for example. And one of the things that generally helps bring a bit traffic, especially if we also put some businesses in this and in this building, is adding parking. And I do think we have a very nice opportunity here to use domes parking in a fun and creative way. Because we will use domes parking and then just put it right into the garage. One here and a second one here, and then obviously we have to put a pass there so they actually have access. But I do think this will be very cute because now we will have people actually parking inside of those garages, which I'm not the only one, right? Like, I did not try to draw this, guys. But I cannot be the only one seeing what happened here. I swear I did not mean to. I would never. I'm a grown-up person. I would never draw. Never ever would I just put a phallus in my build. Who would accuse me of something like that? How dare you? I would not do that. This is a rocket ship. Of course this is a rocket ship, guys. I don't know how you could even question. Yeah, not me. I've not done any of that. Clearly, that was accusations. But yeah, I guess we draw an accidental penis. But anyways, back to what I was saying originally, I think why I like this so much is not only that I find the interaction very cool if we get to have cars parking in there, but also since we want this to be a dying, somewhat abandoned gold town, we do want a little vehicle traffic, but we don't want that many clean, nice vehicles parking outside in our city. And since this parking is inside of the garage, they won't really have the vehicles visible, but we do get the additional rare traffic for people that park in here. Probably not yet, because we don't yet have enough other businesses in here to bring people in. We will probably have to put down a block here, which might as well do right now. I would actually think like a mix block here, and then we have to check how many. We're gonna have to have a look at this mid block, how many households. Maybe this is too much already. I wanna have a look at how much people we're getting in here. I don't care so much about the actual household count, I care about the vibe of this town being correct, and I want somebody to walk here every once in a while, but rarely. If this brings too much traffic, maybe we have to replace it with a low density block instead. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with you, Maza. That does not seem like a gigantic surprise to me. But then, I don't think a sexual orientation has to do something with that either. I am just mentally 3 years old, so I also like it. Okay, now I want to see, give us traffic. It's gonna take a while, I guess, for people to move in. But I want to see if we can get enough usage to get people to park in here. Because if so, that really will be a small and cute detail. I guess in the meanwhile, while we're waiting, what we can do is give the ground here a bit more variation. Because clearly this is a garage, so it's not gonna be the same natural ground around it. That already does a lot, and then I think we wanna do the same here as well. That should be a lot better already. Wait, who knows? Sometimes, and I think it could be right. Sometimes I tell my girlfriend I'm gay. I just have not found a penis yet. Who knows? Maybe someday I look down there and I get a welcome surprise. Who knows? I think she's sleeping already, so I can say things like that without being scared. If not, then yeah, maybe time to get the couch ready. Up, first people moving in. Are they? Why are you coming by foot? Why are they all coming by foot, guys? We are in the United States of America. Going by foot is illegal. You better bring your Dodge Ram 3000 to move in. This is yeah, here, this guy knows how it's done. Come in a nice big SUV. Huh? That's the real American vibes we're looking for. I mean, really, again, with what I just said, can't even blame him for driving into the door like that. He's from the US. He thinks naturally every business is a drive-through business. He just tried to use a drive-through shelter. I'm not gonna judge. That was perfectly fine, really. Slightly questionable, but only slightly. And here I actually want to have a look if we can manage to get Elgendo shutters in here, because I do think these look a lot too clean. And yes, we can. Though we probably have to use EDT, because they get a bit of ugly bleeding if you don't place them nicely. Hold on, these have an actual cut that to say, yeah, we cannot use this one. Heck, and I cannot delete it without deleting the decal on top of it, I think. Ah, no! I did something that's not good. Because you guys see how much decal spaghetti we have here? Okay, that actually is the right one. Now we should be able to reach it. There we go. Okay, but this is very tricky, because if you can't reach the right ones, then sometimes that puts you in a very annoying spot. But yeah, this one has no harsh cut, so this one we can just double up next to each other. Probably we will have to adjust this with EDT slightly to get it a bit smoother, but as a start we're gonna go like this. And that looks all correct. We will move it right. Yeah, I actually, looking at this, I don't think we can avoid the cut in any of these. And then maybe we should just get rid of the shutters entirely. Because that cut actually is pretty hurtful. And I cannot avoid that in any of this placement. I think this is sadly an obvious choice. And it means we're gonna keep the vanilla shutters that I don't like as much. And have to get rid of it, and I have to admit I am so hungry by now, even though I don't want to stop streaming yet. I need to eat something, so I'm gonna put the stain we had on there back on it, and I'm gonna open up Twitch and find somebody to raid, because I desperately need to eat something. Oh god damn it! Actually, hold on. Before we do that, are they coming up here? Are you using our parking? We will have to investigate this for a last minute. Don't all stop there. Somebody drive up. Yes, you are our hope. Don't dare stopping somewhere on the way. Oh, it's a police vehicle. No, don't do it. Stop. Okay, never mind. We're not gonna investigate any of this now, because these cars don't like me, I guess. Not doing me the favor I wanted to. Him? Never mind. Sir! Why? Stop it. Why do me like this? Second car that absolutely cooks me, pretends to come, and now we have a problem because we have 3 parking spots here as well. Now there is 2 empty ones, so they will park here instead of the very back ones. So we will not get to see what I wanted to see. With that, I guess back to my initial thing I said. I am gonna set you back into this nice car and send you on a road trip while I find somebody to raid out to. I thought we can have a car being nice to us and get a look at it soon, but yeah, it didn't happen. No, okay, sorry, I put up the simulation. It's gonna be an absolute Michael Schumacher. Sir, what is happening? Okay, actually, notice I need to... yeah, this is my bad. I cannot. It's too fast. I hate it. We're gonna do this properly. I cannot send you guys on a road trip like that. I don't want you guys to suffer and die from my road trip. This time I'm gonna be clever and not pause, and the speed is alright. Yeah, I can fix that. That's an easy fix. I just still have a road under there because I wanted to draw it out before I put the net lanes on top. I just have to delete that little bit part of road and then we should be fine. But yeah, that looked very nice when we just drove through all of that. I hope we're gonna do the same again. No, we don't. But yes, I'm gonna jump on Twitch real quick and hope there is somebody we like streaming cities. There is oh yeah, actually there is. Dar is streaming cities, so that's an easy choice for me. I'm gonna send you cuties over to Dar. I highly recommend. Nice creator, plays very different from me, like 500 per times as big of scale as me, gigantic cities, but very, very fun and very interesting. So I'm gonna send you guys over to Dar. And with that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, as always, and big thanks again for Dava for the raid earlier, and all of you cuties have an absolute wonderful night. If you want to catch my future streams, I don't stream on a schedule, so the easiest way to catch them is joining my Discord, and I always ping there before I go live. And otherwise, I see you guys soon, and have a nice night and enjoy your time over at Dar. I always say goodbye and everything, and then I click the raid button and forget that there is a bit of delay, so we have a moment of awkward silence. And now we did it. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Have a nice night, and bye-bye.